shopping for them. Because you can build a house with them. Okay. So first of all, this bothers me because it's scanned crookedly, and I have tried like adjusting that. So we're going to have to get in it. Here's the thing. It's scanned crooked on like when it went through the scanner, but notice that my like board up there is off as well. So now it looks like it's almost virtually sideways. It's driving me crazy. I apologize. No, I can't. So y equals mx plus b. So we always look for our slope. What are some words that mean slope in a word problem? Anyone? Per. Words that mean slope. Okay. So per. What else? Every. Rate. Can you think of any more slope words? I think that's good. Each. I think that's another one. You see sometimes each. Let's talk about words that mean the y-intercept. B. Well, flat fee. Beginning. Start. Upfront cost. Or just even the word fee. So we are just going to, for the next 3 days, applications, just practice word problems, okay? So today's word problems are going to be in both slope-intercept form and point-slope form, and we really haven't practiced word problems in point-slope form, so it'll be good for us. So a plane loses altitude at a rate of 5 meters per second. So what does that rate represent? M. That represents my slope. And because it's losing altitude, how do I represent that? Negative. So my slope is -5. The plane begins at an altitude of 8,500 meters. What does that represent? The y-intercept. Okay. So it says, what is the slope in context of the problem? Well, I'm going to write it as a fraction, -5. It's not feet, it's meters. We're going down 5 meters every 1 second. But we just really write it as -5. We don't have to write, like, we don't really write it as 5/1, right? Or -5/1. What is the y-intercept? Well, we just said that the y-intercept is 8,500 meters, and that's just the starting height or the starting altitude. Okay. So let statements. We really need to focus on defining our variables. So sometimes you guys struggle with this, but remember that the x variable is always attached to the slope, right? So we're dropping at a rate of 5 meters per what? Yeah, so x is going to represent the number of seconds. Ooh, that'd be nice if I could spell that right. And then our y value is the total, whatever the total is. And what are we talking about? A total what? What does that 85,000 represent? So y is the total altitude. So notice we're not using numbers to define our variables. We're actually using words, okay? So now we're going to write our linear equation, and we're going to write it in the form y equals mx plus b because we know what our m is and we know what our b is. So our equation for this scenario is y equals -5x plus 8,500. Okay. So the second part says, hey, I want you to use your equation to determine how much time will pass for the plane to land. So what is that really asking you? Yeah, when will the altitude equal 0. And the altitude is what variable? What variable is the altitude? Y. So it's really saying, hey, let y equal 0. So we're going to take this equation, y equals negative 5x plus 8,500, and I'm going to substitute in the number 0 for y. Because I'm trying to figure out how much time in seconds we're going to splat to the ground. So what should I do next? Just trying to get x all by itself. What should I do next?
Minus 8,500 on both sides.
Yeah, good job. Minus 8,500 on both sides. So 8,500 negative 8,500 equals negative 5x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 5. So someone take 8,500 and divide it by 5 because I know that a negative times a negative is a positive. And what do I find out? That x equals what? 1,700. So the plane, because we have to write a sentence, will have an altitude of 0 in 1,700 seconds. The plane will have an altitude of 0 in 1,700 seconds. So the reason I like these word problems is because it kind of lays out the pattern for you, tells you what you need to do, but also they're not all let x equal, let x equal. Sometimes you're plugging in and solving for x by knowing what the total is, and I think that's a good practice. Okay? All right, let's do the next one. So this one we're writing in point slope form. Do you see that? So I'm looking for the slope, and I'm looking for an ordered pair. So I'll read it, and then can you tell me what the slope is? Julio plans a diet to gain half a pound or 0.5 pounds per day. After 14 days, he weighs 90 pounds. So what is my slope? So 0.5 pounds. In the context of the problem, I could put 0.5 pounds for each day, but I'm actually going to turn it into a fraction. I'm going to write it like this. Because 0.5 is 1/2, right? Okay. It says, what is the slope? Oh, I already did that one. Sorry. What is the point that's given? Remember that the x is always attached to the slope, and this is pounds per day. So which number here represents the x? 14. So the pounds is 90. So if x is representing days, we're going to say let x be the number of days. This y coordinate is pounds, so y is total pounds. So if we know our slope and we know a point, can we write an equation? What is it?
Y minus 90 equals 0.5 distributed to x minus 14.
Awesome. Okay. So I really don't have to manipulate this equation. It says use your equation to determine how long it will take him to reach 110 pounds. And this is the total, right? Total pounds. What variable is representing total pounds? Say again.
14.
What variable, x or y, is representing total pounds?
Y.
Y. So this just is saying let y equal 110 and plug into your equation. So we're going to plug it into y minus 90 equals 0.5 times the quantity x minus 14. So I'm going to get rid of the y, and instead I'm going to put in 110 minus 90 equals 0.5, and I'm going to distribute here. Is that okay? 0.5 times x is 0.5x. 0.5 times negative 14 is negative 7. So it's half. Yep. So what is 110 minus 90? So 20 equals 0.5x minus 7. What should I do next?
Plus 7
Plus 7 on
on both sides.
both sides. You guys are doing awesome. Plus 7. So that gives me 27 equals 0.5x. Last step. Divide both sides by 0.5. And I find out that x equals 54. So how many days will it take him to reach 110 pounds? Yeah, it will take 54 days. Say again. I don't know exactly. I'll tell you when we're stopping. We stop. So we're going to here. Here's where we stop our notes. However many pages that is. Okay, they go fast. So Marty is spending money at an average rate of $3 per day. That rate stands for my what? M, but I'm spending it. How do I show that I'm spending the money? -3. After 14 days, he has $68. That's my ordered pair. 14 days, I have $68. So what does X represent and what does Y represent? Gavin.
X equals number of days,
Awesome.
and y equals the total amount of money.
Yeah, perfect. Total amount. Can I just use dollar sign? Are you guys okay with that? Total amount, dollar sign. All right, who's coming up with the equation for this? We have a slope of -3, and we have an ordered pair of 14 and 68. Someone different, someone other than Kane. He did the last one.
No, not actually.
What? Kellen wouldn't? I think Eli wants to do this.
Just be writing down what you-
Here,
I'm
you're
not
using
gonna
this
do it.
form, Eli. Okay. So this you know, this you know, and this you know. And that's what you want. So what's your equation?
Y minus 68 equals 3
It's negative, but yes, times the quantity.
times the quantity x subtracts 14.
Awesome, perfect, very nice. Y minus 68 equals -3 times the quantity x minus 14. So it says use your equation to determine how much money he started with.
So would that create addition?
Say again.
Wouldn't that create addition?
It doesn't turn it into addition. What do we, when we're asking about the starting amount, what value is that? The starting amount is represented by what value? The amount that we start with, or where we begin, is represented by the what? Isn't it the y-intercept that represents that? Okay, so there's a real easy way to do this. Someone tell me from your activity yesterday, what happens to the x when we find the y-intercept? What do you know? Like when the graph crosses the y-axis, what is the value of x?
0.
So let's just let x equal 0 and we'll find the y-intercept. Does that make sense? We could write this equation, like we could transform this into y equals mx plus b, but we really don't need to. Let's just plug in a 0 for x because we know that's when the intercept happens. So I'm going to let x equal 0 to find the y-intercept. That's what I'm going to do. So let's see. I have y minus 68 equals -3 times the quantity 0 minus 14. Well, what is 0 minus 14? What is it? -14? Yeah. And -3 times -14 is a positive 42. Okay, I'm almost done getting y all by itself. What do I have to do next? Add 68 to both sides. So I started off with how much money? So I started with $110. Whenever I have to find the beginning amount, I always let x equal 0, like, because that's the best cheat in the world, right? It saves you from manipulating equations. You guys ready for the next one?
No, wait.
Okay.
Use the next full page for more notes.
Okay. You're welcome. So again, we're going to do another problem in the form y equals mx plus b. Nick is given $50 to spend on vacation. This is how much he starts with. What does that represent? It's not y. It's called the y-intercept, and that's represented by the variable b. I feel like we're confusing that. So the beginning amount is b. The amount of money that he spends per day is my m. So I'm just going to jump right down to the let statements. What does x represent? It's the number attached to the, like the word attached to the slope. How much money is he spending?
5
How much per what?
a day.
So we're going to let x equal the number of days. X is the number of days. Y is the total amount of money. So because we're spending the money, because he's spending the money, is my slope going to be positive or negative? Meaning, is my total amount going up or is it going to go down? It's going down. That means my slope is negative because I'm spending money. It's burning a hole in your pocket is what my mom used to say. That money's burning a hole in your pocket. So, can someone tell me what the equation would be? What do you think, Kate?
Whoa.
Y equals mx plus b. So what's m?
-5.
So y equals -5x, and what's b?
50.
Okay. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, and you guys are doing this over and over again, okay? It's the same thing over and over again. So there's our equation. It says, how much money will Nick have after 4 days? So what is that really asking you? What are we changing? Like what is this 4 days representing? What variable is it representing?
X.
Yeah, so that means when x equals 4. So let's just plug that in. When x equals 4, I have the equation y equals -5 times 4 plus 50. So y equals, let's see, 5 times 4 is 20. A negative times a positive is a negative. So y equals 30. So my statement is after 4 days, Nick has $30. The second question says, Nick has $35 left. How many days was he on vacation? So this is letting us change the value of the y. Yeah, this is saying let y equal 35. So instead of using the letter y, I'm going to plug in 35 equals negative 5x plus 50. I'm going to subtract 50 from both sides. God bless you. And I have negative 15 equals negative 5x. What should I do next, Naya? How do I solve that? Negative 15 equals negative 5x. I'm trying to get x up. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So how many days was he on vacation if he has $35? He was on vacay for 3 days. I think we have one more example like this. Everybody ready, or are we still writing this down? You're good? Okay. All right. Tells you what form you're using right here. This is going to be in point slope form. It's not going to be a mystery. Kara is spending her savings at an average rate of $3 per day. She's spending it. So is her slope going up or down? Down, negative 3. That's my slope. After 14 days, she has $68. That's my ordered pair. 14, 68. What does X represent in words?
Number of days.
The number of days. What does Y represent?
The total amount of money.
Total amount of money. This question should look really familiar. Like the numbers should look very familiar. We've already used these numbers. Okay. So what's our equation in point slope form? Aiden, point slope form, what's my equation?
Y minus 68 equals 3.
Negative 3.
Negative 3. What do you call that?
Times the quantity.
Times the quantity x minus 14.
Awesome. Yes. Remember that your slope is negative because you're spending your money. You're not adding to the amount that you have. You're taking away from it. That's why your slope is negative. Okay. So if Kara continues to spend at this rate, if she just keeps on spending, how much money will she have after 30 days? What's that really asking us? How much money will she have when X equals 30? Who said that? Good job. So Y minus 68 equals my slope, negative 3, times 30 minus 14. Okay. So Y minus 68 equals negative 3 times, what is 30 minus 14? It's 16, right? So Y minus 68 equals, what's negative 3 times 16? Negative 48. You guys are doing awesome. Last step, what do I need to do? Add the 68 to both sides. Yeah, good job. So Y equals 20. So after 30 days, she'll have $20 left. Okay? Because she's just going to keep spending her money. So the second question says, hey, guess what? Kara only has $5 left. How many days of spending has she been, like, how many days of spending has gone by? So what is that really asking you? We're figuring out when, if this is the total amount of money, this is saying when y equals 5. So we're using the same equation, y minus 68 equals -3 times the quantity x minus 14. But now I'm replacing the y with $5. So I have 5, whoops, wrong color. So I have 5 minus 68 equals, so here I'm going to distribute because I don't know what the x is. -3 times x is -3x. And -3 times -14 is a positive 42. What is 5 minus 68? It is. Who said that? Was that you, Kate? Good job. -63 equals -3x plus 42. What are we going to do next? Yeah, subtract 42 from both sides. So -105 equals -3x. Last step. Good job. Divide both sides by -3. 3 will go into 10 3 times with 1 left over. 3 will go into 15 5 times. So she's been spending money like crazy for 35 days. Someone needs to cut up her credit cards. Take her debit card away. Questions? Okay. So let's talk about what homework is. So homework. Question number 1. It says that this plane is descending. What does that mean? Your slope is going to be positive or negative? Yeah, you're going to have negative slope. Descending means it's going down. Question number 2. You're adding $5 to your account each week. Is your slope going to be positive or negative? Positive. Question number 1 is in point slope form. Marty is spending money. Is my slope going to be positive or negative? It's quick. Number 2. You guys can figure that one out. That one's easy. Biologist chirps. So this one is going to be 2 ordered pairs. Do you guys remember how to do this when you have 2 ordered pairs? I'm going to give them to you. Your first ordered pair, this is number 3, 124 and 68. Your second ordered pair is 172 and 80. How do you find an equation for this? What do you need to do? First, what do you have to do? First, let's find the slope, right? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What are you going to do second? Put it in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Okay? I don't really care about this stuff right here. I want you to be able to write an equation and then use it. So if you can write an equation, does it matter which ordered pair you use? No, it doesn't. So use this one just so that way I'm giving you some help. This is your x1 and this is your y1. How warm is it when the crickets are chirping 150 times? This means let x equal 150 after you write your equation. And you'll solve for the temperature. Okay? Does that make sense? Then I think you have 3 more, right? Just two more. This is where you stop. This is a stop. So you have 2 more after that. So Nick is given $50 to spend on vacation. We've already done one just like this. And then Julio plans a diet. We already did one like this. It's just that the variables are like the slopes are different on this, okay? So these are just like your notes. Okay, sir.